Hello Internet, and welcome back to my series of film reviews. Last time we covered Captain America Brave New World, and now we made it up to my #1 favorite movie in the entire DCEU, and a movie that holds a very special place in my heart, Wonder Woman. I know I initially said on my community page that I lost interest in covering the rest of the DCU, but I can confirm that I will still be reviewing the rest of the DCU in between other reviews, like the Mission Impossible movies, starting with Mission Impossible 2, and ending with Mission Impossible Fallout. The Christopher Reeve Superman movies, Superman Returns, the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, and the Fantastic Four movies from 2005's Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, and the 2015 Fantastic Four that broke my soul, my spirit, and my sanity, and which I'm gonna have to rewatch anyway for the sake of reviewing it on my channel. As well as a whole bunch of other ones like the upcoming live-action remakes of Snow White, Lilo and Stitch, and How to Train Your Dragon, and so much more. And joining me in this review is a very special guest.
How's it going, everyone? GeneDiddy76 here, and yes, Wonder Woman is a very special movie, not only to David, but to me as well.
Yep, my girlfriend's official debut on McInerney76 film reviews.
David, have you been drinking again?
No.
Then what's with the empty margarita glass over there?
Oh, you mean the margarita that I drank back when I reviewed Suicide Squad?
Has Deadpool been getting you drunk again?
Every time I review a bad movie as part of this series, I force myself to drink an alcoholic beverage.
Well, yeah, like the time you drank a bottle of gin for X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Please don't remind me.
And that bottle of whiskey for Dark Phoenix.
Okay, that movie was so bad that I had no choice but to get wasted.
And let's not forget the alcoholic version of the Etico Cooler when you reviewed the Ghostbusters reboot that doesn't exist.
Actually, I drank the alcoholic Ecto Cooler after I reviewed the Ghostbusters reboot that doesn't exist, not during the review itself.
Good Christmas, Davy. What am I going to do with you?
More like, what are you gonna do with Deadpool?
Probably a boot to the head, but let's get started.
Good idea. Released on June 2nd, 2017, and directed by Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman is an origin story for Diana Prince, or Wonder Woman, following her appearance in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
The reason why Wonder Woman is a special movie for both David and I is because back in June of 2017, we saw each other in person for the very first time when he came to visit me after dating for 11 months. And our very first in-person date was to go to my local theater, where I was living at the time, which was Newport, Oregon, to see Wonder Woman.
That's also where we shared our very first kiss.
Every time we have an in-person visit, we would often go to the movies. Aside from Wonder Woman, we saw Deadpool 2 with Brian, Andrew, and Sydney, Solo: A Star Wars Story, Shazam with Brian, Toy Story 4, Frozen 2 with my little sister Diana, Onward with Sonic Dragon Girl 23, My Hero Academia Heroes Rising with Sonic Dragon Girl 23, and Frost Day Amora, and Coco during COVID with my sister Diana, and most recently, Five Nights at Freddy's. And we're planning on seeing James Gunn's Superman when he comes to visit me this July. Isn't that right, Davey?
That's right, but Wonder Woman will always be a special movie to us, right, Gene?
Right, David. Also, before we continue, please go check out my review of Wonder Woman, well, my old review of Wonder Woman, on my channel. You may continue, Davey.
Starring in this movie is Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, Robin Wright as Antiope. Robin Wright is best known for playing Princess Buttercup in The Princess Bride. We also have Professor Lupin himself, David Thewlis, as Sir Patrick Morgan, who would later reveal himself to be Ares, the Greek god of war. Danny Houston as General Eric Ludendorff, Connie Nielsen as Diana's mother, Queen Hippolyta, and Elena Anaya as Dr. Isabel Maru, or Dr. Poison.
As you know, you're poison, you're feeding me poison. Addicted to this feeling, I can't help but swallow up your poison. You're feeding me poison. Every night I'm living like there's no tomorrow. Any way you want me, baby, that's the way you got me. I'll be yours. My story's gonna end with me dead from your poison.
Yup, there it is.
You know I had to.
Oh, really now?
Really? Taunting me with your whistling again? You know I'm not that good at whistling.
This movie takes place during World War I, so it's a period piece, just like how Captain America the First Avenger takes place during World War II. Diana's mission all throughout the movie is to destroy Ares to stop the Great War once and for all.
Now my question is, if Wonder Woman destroyed Ares to stop the war in this movie, then why does World War II still happen?
I have no idea. I mean, World War II is mentioned in Zack Snyder's Justice League, Aquaman, and the Suicide Squad. That's something I've been wondering for a very long time now.
Okay, the less we question historical accuracy, the better.
Good idea. This video will contain spoilers to Wonder Woman. So if you have not seen Wonder Woman yet, please do. You can either put it on alone, or with your friends, or do what I did and take your significant other to watch it for date night.
So sit back, relax, grab some Dr. Pepper, and ride along as we give you our thoughts on the movie that holds a special place in David's and my hearts. This is Wonder Woman.
The movie starts off in present day, following the events of Batman v Superman, where Diana Prince visits Paris and receives a photographic plate from Wayne Enterprises of herself and her World War I squad that was seen in Batman v Superman.
We then cut to the island of Themyscira, home of the Amazons, who are women warriors sculpted from clay by the Greek gods to protect mankind. As you can guess, there are no men on this island. And David, don't ask questions about how Amazons are born!
I wasn't going to. Rah!
Yeah, because your channel will be demonetized if you do.
Diana is hundreds of years old and is an immortal demigoddess. She's the princess of Themyscira and is the daughter of Queen Hippolyta. And she doesn't age, as we see in this movie and Wonder Woman 1984, and her other appearances in both Justice League movies, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and The Flash.
The island of Themyscira is hidden from the world, thus making it hard to find on any maps. However, this all changes when Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, crashes his plane into the ocean, and the Germans invade the island, resulting in a big battle sequence.
She's not even referred to as Wonder Woman in this movie, or Wonder Woman 1984. They don't call her that until Zack Snyder's Justice League, Peacemaker Season 1, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and The Flush.
The Flush? You mean The Flash?
The Flush is my nickname for the 2023 film because A, Ezra Miller is a piece of shit, B, they unethically resurrected Christopher Reeve through CGI without his family's permission, C, the CGI in that movie is an absolute fucking eyesore, even worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, D, they had one missed opportunity to cast Grant Gustin in that movie, E, the fact that we got an older Barry Allen teaming up with a younger Barry Allen for no fucking reason. I mean, come on! It's supposed to be a Flash movie, not fucking Sonic X Shadow Generations. They're not Sonic and Sonic, for crying out loud. F, even though Michael Keaton's Batman is the highlight of the movie, he's pretty much the main focus in a movie called The Flash. G, Flash has to go up against fucking General Zod instead of, oh, I don't know, Reverse Flash, or Captain Cold, or anyone from the Flash's Rogues Gallery. H, Ezra Miller puking their guts out after younger Ezra Miller moves them too fast. I, George Clooney's cameo at the end of the fucking movie. J, Supergirl appearing in that movie for no fucking reason, played by an actress in her feature film debut, which won't look good on her resume moving forward. K, that movie was meant to adapt the Flashpoint storyline from the comics, but it just came off as sloppy, giving the film's marketing, and Ezra Miller's reputation, and the inevitable reboot of the entire DCU. L, James Gunn teased that The Flash would reset the DCU, but did we get that out of that movie? Fuck no!
Well, I'm staying far away from that movie, but didn't you review it previously with Sonic, and Calvin?
I did, but I'm going to review it again as part of this series. And I'm also going to be revisiting Black Adam and Blue Beetle. This clip from the Flash TV series on the CW said it best when it came to production on The Flush.
Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
They made a plan to try to reset the DCU with a movie starring a real piece of shit. They executed said plan to try to make a solo Flash movie. The entire fucking movie went off the rails, and in the end, they threw away the plan to continue on with the DCEU as we know it. Why else do you think screenings of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom consisted of nearly empty auditoriums?
Shouldn't we be reviewing Wonder Woman instead of complaining about how bad The Flash was?
You're right. Sorry about that, folks.
That margarita that Deadpool gave you is still getting to your head, isn't it? Even after reviewing Captain America: Brave New World.
Actually, no. But anyway, back on to Wonder Woman.
Like we established, the Amazons were created by the gods of Mount Olympus to protect humankind against the corruption of Ares, the god of war.
There's multiple different gods of war out there, the most notable of all being Kratos.
You know I don't play those games, Davey. I've also never played Uncharted or Tomb Raider, only watched the movies, or The Last of Us. or even Assassin's Creed. I'm mostly into Donkey Kong, Sonic, and Mario.
But yes, Ares is the main antagonist of the film, as Diana believes that he was responsible for starting World War I. Ares killed the other gods, but he was struck down by Zeus. And Zeus even leaves the Amazons a sword powerful enough to kill a god, but it later proves ineffective in the final fight.
Diana's mother forbids her from training as a hardened warrior, but she trains in secret with her aunt Anope. But later in life, when Hippolyta discovers her training, Anope convinces her to allow Diana's training to continue.
One peaceful day on Themyscira, we see a plane crashing into the ocean below, piloted by Steve Trevor, and Diana saves him from drowning. And this is our first time seeing a man on an island entirely inhabited by women. I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't like how they brought Chris Pine back in Wonder Woman 1984.
Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't that bad.
Think about it. Diana made a wish using the Dreamstone to have him possess the body of an innocent man, which crossed so many lines like you wouldn't believe. But more on that when it comes time for me to review Wonder Woman 1984 in the near future, depending on which film series I cover through these kinds of reviews.
And upon Diana saving Steve's life, we see that he's being followed by the Germans, who he stole notes from containing information on a deadly form of mustard gas that not even gas masks can protect you from.
A form of deadly gas that not even gas masks can protect you from? Gee whiz!
They don't call her Dr. Poison, you're feeding me poison, for nothing.
Damn right. So in the ensuing battle on the beach, the Germans overpower the Amazons, even resulting in the death of Antiope. And so, the Amazons capture Steve and force him to tell the truth with the lasso of truth, or as they call it in this movie, the lasso of Hestia. The lasso forces anyone to tell the truth if they're holding onto it, or tied up by it.
And I don't even need that lasso to know your true feelings about me.
That is all too true, Gene.
Steve reveals to the Amazons that a great war is happening in the outside world, and that has been going on for years, and it resulted in the deaths of billions. And that's pretty much what happened in the actual World War I, or as it was called at the time, the war to end all wars.
Yup, especially from what I've seen in All Quiet on the Western Front.
Aren't there like 3 different film adaptations of All Quiet on the Western Front?
Yes, Gene, you would be correct. The 1930 version, which was the third film to win Best Picture at the Oscars, the 1979 television film, and the 2022 German language film released on Netflix. And let's not forget the Sam Mendes film 1917, which was edited to make it look like it was all shot in one take.
You all probably don't know this about me, but I'm big on history, as is David. And not just film history, but all kinds too.
And I even took a college class on film history, which I mentioned in my review of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Alright, let's get back on to Wonder Woman.
Right, so anyway, Steve reveals himself to be an Allied spy who stole plays from General Ludendorff and Dr. Isabel Maru regarding the deadly form of gas so he can warn the Allies that they're pretty much fucked beyond belief.
And so Diana believes that it was Ares responsible for starting the war, and that he's still alive after his defeat at the hands of Zeus. But according to history lessons they teach in school, that's not how the war actually started.
It all started in 1914 after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and the rise of Kaiser Wilhelm II. And what resulted from that is one of the most devastating wars in history, with new military technologies and the horrors of trench warfare. The Great War, or the War to End All Wars, lasted from 1914 to 1918 and resulted in 14 million deaths. As for World War II, we'll get to that another time.
Yeah, because this is a channel that's not only about comedic videos involving Sonic the Hedgehog, but also the occasional movie reviews. This is not a channel giving history lessons, despite David and I being major history buffs. Save those for Hollywood Graveyard, Underground History, and Walking with History. Those YouTube channels are famous for history. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, history was one of my favorite subjects in school, and I have an appreciation for film history as well. I've seen a lot of really old movies, even from the silent era. But don't expect me to review The Wizard of Oz or Casablanca anytime soon.
And after Steve and Diana get to know each other more, Diana climbs a tower and steals the God Killer sword. A shield that doesn't work, like Captain America's shield, the lasso of truth, and armor that we've seen her wear in Batman v Superman. Her mother tries to stop her, but she has no choice but to let her go into the world of men and stop the war by any means necessary.
Diana and Steve are off on a boat, and they get to know each other a bit more. and Diana tells him that she was sculpted from clay and was brought to life by Zeus. And soon, they arrive in jolly old London.
Welcome to jolly old London.
It's hideous.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Hold the bloody hell up! Who talks shit about my country of origin?
Well, I'll be damned. A cameo from Eugene, of all people.
Yes, I won't be here long, but how bloody dare Wonder Woman call London hideous? It is not. Sure, I grew up there, but don't call that city hideous. Exactly, I have several questions. Just like how I have several questions about Charlotte making off with my tacos. What tacos? Damn it, Charlotte, get back here! Hey, Shane, what?
So when they arrive in London, Diana is filled with joy over the littlest things, like seeing a random baby on the street, and being overjoyed after trying ice cream for the first time. So this is kind of a fish out of water story for Diana Prince, despite Aquaman being a literal fish out of water.
Even though Aquaman fucked a fish according to Peacemaker.
Wait, what?
You're late, you fucking dickheads! Go fuck another fish, asshole!
I'm so fucking sick of that rumor.
It's not a rumor.
Fuck you, Barry.
I have several questions.
Yeah, more about Aquaman when I make it up to 2018's Aquaman. Eventually. But for now, we're here to focus on Wonder Woman. This film also contains an homage to 1978 Superman with Christopher Reeve, where Clark Kent survives being shot in front of Lois Lane, played by Margot Kidder. But here, Diana and Steve are cornered in an alley by men working for Ludendorff, wanting Dr. Maru's notes back. But Diana blocks the bullets with her gauntlets, and they get into a fight that results in one of the men taking a cyanide pill before they can talk. Where have I seen this before?
Who the hell are you?
The first of many. Cut off one head. Two more shall take its place.
Hail Hydra.
Despite the similarities between those two movies, Wonder Woman and Captain America: The First Avenger are not the same movie.
Exactly. Wonder Woman is immortal, and she was never frozen in ice for 70 years, unlike Captain America. Hence her next solo movie, which is called Wonder Woman 1984. But more on that when it comes time for me to talk about Wonder Woman 1984.
And then we meet Steve's secretary, Etta Candy, played by Lucy Davis. Not my dog, Lucy. She helps pick out an outfit for Diana to blend in with society, and she even holds onto her sword and shield.
I don't know why, but when I see her dressed as a civilian carrying a sword and shield, it's like one of those games where the clothes you give your character have max stats, like +3 attack and +5 defense, even though the character looks ridiculous in the game.
That's about as bad as you showing up to the bar in that blue bathrobe of yours to get yourself wasted off of beer and a Mai Tai. Anybody want a Mai Tai? Ah! Ha ha ha! Cheers.
For the record, I wore my bathrobe every time Deadpool got me a cocktail to get drunk off of my wolf tail for every time I reviewed a bad movie. Oh, just imagine what Deadpool's gonna get me when I make it up to the 2015 Fantastic Four. I'm gonna be so fucking wasted.
Oh, really now? What about your review of Ghostbusters 2016? Where you showed up to the bar in your bathrobe ordering an alcoholic version of Ecto Cooler.
That was one time, Gene. One time. Also, it's Ecto Cooler.
Okay, I was just saying.
This movie takes place in an era where women don't have equal rights as men. So the Supreme War Council had several questions about a woman being in the room.
I don't believe this.
I know, grandson. A woman in the military.
Around this time, women didn't have the right to vote, and they weren't granted that right until later on.
Cast off the shackles of yesterday, shoulder to shoulder into the fray. Our daughters will adore us, and they'll sing in grateful chorus. Well done, Sister Suffragettes.
Thank you for that, Gene.
You know I had to.
Steve delivers the notes to the Supreme War Council, where we see Sir Patrick Morgan, played by David Thewlis, trying to negotiate an armistice with Germany. Diana is then outraged that the War Committee denied his request to lead a raid on the location of the deadly gas and Ludendorff. but Diana is able to translate the notes, revealing that the Germans plan to release the gas on the Western Front.
And there's a bunch of different languages that Diana can speak. Too many to name here. Languages that even I don't know. I only know a little bit of Spanish. I can sing in Japanese. I know a little French, and that's it.
I know a little bit of Spanish, French, and German. And a small bit of Japanese, too.
Don't you dare speak those languages here!
I wasn't going to. Rah!
Oh, really now? What about your review of Deadpool 2 when you and Deadpool had a conversation in Spanish, French, and German?
Good Christmas!
Exactly my point.
At a local tavern, Steve recruits a ragtag team with secret funding from Sir Patrick to head to the front lines to join the war. We have Samir, an actor-turned-spy, and Charlie, the Scottish marksman. And meanwhile, with the Germans, Ludendorff, who often takes the form of gas created by Dr. Poison to gain metahuman powers, demonstrates the power of the gas and how gas masks are ineffective against it.
But the Musk won't help.
They don't know that.
Kind of sounds like your average villains from a Saturday morning cartoon.
My thoughts exactly.
Upon arriving in Belgium, Diana is devastated to see all the carnage and casualties brought upon by trench warfare. This further bolsters her desire to bring the war to an end. And then we get the best scene in the entire movie. They make it to No Man's Land, where no man can cross the other side without getting shot.
We say the best scene for several reasons. The musical score, the cinematography, and just this entire sequence in general where Diana takes all the gunfire, blocking them with her gauntlets and her shield, inspiring the Allied soldiers to cross No Man's Land and join the attack.
This right here is one of the main reasons why Wonder Woman is a special movie for both of us, and why Wonder Woman is my favorite DC superhero. Even me dressing as Wonder Woman for the DC/Sonic collaboration. Yes, Amy, especially that. And let's also not forget Sonic dressed as the Flash, Shadow dressed as Batman, Knuckles dressed as Superman, Tails is dressed as Cyborg, and Silver dressed as Green Lantern. But yes, I've always wanted to dress up as Wonder Woman, especially for Halloween. Just like how David cosplayed as Dipper Pines for Halloween this year, and at a recent convention.
Yes, I can pull off a damn good Dipper Pines cosplay. Although it would be nice to see someone draw David the Wolf dressed as Dipper. Get on it, my fellow artists!
Patience, David. Someone will get to it eventually. Also, you actually dressed as Dipper Pines one year for Halloween when I dressed up as Mabel. Why did I do that?
Exactly. You and I are boyfriend and girlfriend, not brother and sister. I mean, I have an actual older sister in real life. Just thought I'd throw out a fun fact for those who don't know.
I could totally see myself dressing as Wonder Woman for Halloween one year, but I'm not sure what DC superhero David would dress up as.
That's a good question. Probably Robin from Teen Titans. You'll have to find out when Sonic and Shonika DC Halloween releases in October of 2025.
I could totally see you dressing up as Robin, David. But anyway, were you revealing Wonder Woman? Yes, that's right.
After the iconic No Man's Land scene, Diana and her squad make it to the city of Veld and liberate it from the Germans, in which there's a lot of slow motion shots as we see Diana kicking ass and taking names. And after the city is liberated, she and her squad take a photo. The same photo we see in Batman v Superman.
It's then that we see Diana and Steve falling in love, all while it's snowing. We then learn that there will be a gala held at German High Command, hosted by Ludendorff, to celebrate the launching of the deadly gas. And it's then that Diana believes that Ludendorff himself is actually Ares. But after she kills him in the film's climax and the war is still going on, we learn that it was Professor Lupin all along.
So Diana and Steve infiltrate the gala with Steve trying to locate the gas to destroy it, and Diana planning to kill Ludendorff. Steve comes across Dr. Poison and tries to get information out of her. And when Diana gets close enough to Ludendorff to try to kill him, Steve stops her. It is then that the gas is fired upon the city of Veld, and it results in the deaths of not only the troops on both sides of the war, but civilians as well.
Diana then blames Steve for the gas being launched when he stopped her from killing Ludendorff. So she sets off alone to find him and corner him. We see the gas being loaded onto a bomber plane with the intent of dropping the gas onto London to force the Allies to surrender.
Even though the way this war actually ended was with the armistice of November 11th, 1918, signed between the Germans and the Allies.
Again, you had to bring history into this.
Of course, I'm no historian, but I certainly know my history. But anyway, She goes up to Ludendorff and has a huge battle against him, with his strength being enhanced with that special gas that he inhales that Dr. Poison gave him. And that's one of the reasons why Diana is under the impression that Ludendorff himself is Ares. And then, we get another iconic quote from Diana as she finishes him off.
I am Diana Athanaskira, daughter of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. In the name of all that is good, your wrath upon this world is over.
After she finishes him off, we still see the soldiers fighting, much to her confusion. And then, we see Sir Patrick approaching Diana, revealing himself to be the real Ares. And he reveals to her that he himself is not responsible for the war, but he in fact subtly gave humans ideas and inspirations, like how he inspired Dr. Poison to create the deadly gas. He proceeds to tell her that it's ultimately mankind's decision to resort to violence, and that they are inherently corrupt.
Diana tries to impale Ares with the God-Killer sword, but he breaks the sword, and thus he tells her that she is indeed the God-Killer, and that only a god can kill another god.
Tell that to Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Even though Shazam has the power of the gods granted to him by the wizard, thus basically making him a god.
Can't you tell it's been a while since I've seen Shazam, Fury of the Gods?
You and I saw Shazam in the theater together back in 2019 with Brian, but I have not seen Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
You're not missing much, I can tell you that.
Oh, really now?
Yeah, also, Ares kinda looks silly. He looks like the protagonist from Skyrim, fused with the knights who say knee from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow to the knee!
I thought you don't play those kinds of games.
I don't. I just know the arrow in the knee quote from a whole bunch of memes, especially a certain meme lord in which you share a casual rivalry with. But yeah, I've never played Skyrim, I've never played Elden Ring, I've never played Dark Souls, and I've never played Red Dead Redemption.
Good to know. But during the final battle between Diana and Ares, Steve and the rest of the squad destroy Dr. Poison's laboratory. And Steve makes the ultimate sacrifice when he hijacks the plane carrying the gas, brings it to a safe altitude, and destroys it, sacrificing his life in the process.
And that's the last we see of Chris Pine until Wonder Woman 1984.
Did you forget that he possessed the body of an innocent man based on a wish Diana made on a magic rock?
No, I did not forget.
I'd go into more detail about how unethical and wrong that is, but I'm gonna save it for when it comes time for me to review Wonder Woman 1984.
After she witnesses Steve's ultimate sacrifice, Ares attempts to have Diana unleash her rage to kill Dr. Poison. But then her memories with Steve made her realize that there is goodness in humans. Diana spares Dr. Poison's life, and she ultimately destroys Ares by redirecting his attacks to him. And thus the war is finally over.
Until World War II happens.
Yes, Davey, we get it. World War II is a thing that exists in this universe as mentioned in other movies. Movies that I myself haven't seen.
Like the Suicide Squad?
Yes, especially the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's a lasting question that's been bothering me for quite some time. How after Ares' defeat at the hands of Diana, World War II still happens. But the less we question historical events in the DC universe, the better.
Exactly. Save it for Wonder Woman 1984.
After the war ends, Diana returns to Etta Candy in London, where she reflects on the time she had with Steve, as well as an important quote that returns in Wonder Woman 1984. I can save today, but you can save the world.
And then we cut back to present day where she sends an email to Bruce Wayne thanking him for returning the photo of her and her squad, and then one final shot of her jumping off a roof and flying into action, and that's the end of the movie.
Until the 2 Justice League movies.
Why 2?
Because 2017's Justice League is a fucking travesty, and Zack Snyder's Justice League is the definitive way to watch it, despite Zack Snyder not being one of my personal favorite directors.
Shouldn't we be giving our closing thoughts on this movie?
Right, sorry about that, folks. I'm giving Wonder Woman a 10 out of 10. Despite being part of a universe that was doomed to fail, Wonder Woman remains not only my favorite entry, but one of my favorite movies of all time, and one of my favorite DC movies, next to Superman from 1978, Tim Burton's Batman from 1989, The Dark Knight, Joker, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and Matt Reeves' The Batman.
And it was a perfect first date for David and I totally agree with you. Wonder Woman is indeed one of my favorite movies of all time. I'd go through an entire list of my favorite movies, but that would make this video even longer than it needs to be.
Gal Gadot made a great Wonder Woman in this movie, despite her pointless cameos in Shazam! Fury of the Gods and The Flush. But more on this when I review Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And even though I already reviewed The Flush as Sonic and Shonik, I still plan on revisiting it as a McInerney76 film review. Same with how I plan on re-reviewing Black Adam and Blue Beetle.
Diana and Steve in this movie definitely reminds me of you and I, Davey. And I love the musical score and the fight sequences. And No Man's Land is definitely the highlight of this movie. And it's because of David and I going to the theater to see this movie that Wonder Woman is my favorite DC superhero.
And my favorite DC superhero is, and always will be, Batman. But as for my favorite Marvel superhero, it's a three-way tie between Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Captain America.
Don't make me choose who my favorite Marvel superhero is. That's like asking me what my favorite flavor of ice cream is.
But yes, Wonder Woman is a fun time from start to finish, and it changed the way we see superhero films as we know it with the female lead. Even though we got that awful Catwoman movie from 2004, and Elektra from 2005, in which Jennifer Garner reprises that role in Deadpool and Wolverine. And then we have Captain Marvel, Black Widow, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Birds of Prey, and The Marvels.
I think you're forgetting one.
No, I'm not.
Madam Web.
Oh, fuck that garbage! That's one movie I will absolutely never review on this channel, ever. Or Kraven the Hunter, or Green Lantern.
Oh, a nanofist. I haven't seen that since I hate-watched Green Lantern in 2011.
I never saw Green Lantern, probably for the best.
Yep, you're better off keeping your sanity intact.
I'm glad I could be a part of this review. I plan on coming back when David eventually makes it up to Wonder Woman 1984. Until next time, this is GeneDiddy76 signing off.
Thank you, Gene, for joining this review. But anyway, stay tuned for my upcoming review of the theatrical cut of Justice League coming soon, as well as all other reviews I have planned for 2025, including the live-action remake of Snow White, Lilo & Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, and much more. Until then, I'll see you all next time.